This week on the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast.
He is the producer and co-host on the Nerding Out on Neurodiversity. We spoke to his other co-host, Dr. Matt, a few weeks ago. Please, everybody, welcome Jake Noonan.
There's one that's called Danger Club, and it's like alternative indie pop punk kind of style. And then there's one that's called Sinful Ukes, which is a queer folk band-ish with a ukulele-fronted singer. And then the other one, a lo-fi music production with a poet called The Goodbye Mind. In the Library of Congress, there was a wax recording of Walt Whitman's voice. I've loved Walt Whitman forever. I've been teaching him for a decade now, and I was able to cut some of his vocal part in for the only recording we have of him and put it into one of the poems. I've never been the kind of person to sit still or want to be in one place for too long. Within a year of getting my degree, I was in South Korea teaching. I don't always say that this is the best drag queen in all of RuPaul, but I'm a little biased. Just not I know that everything is really chaotic right now, as you were saying, Katie, but there's a lot of hope as well. Also, don't forget to call the ever-loving hell out of your representatives.
Join us this week on the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast.
Elliot? What kind of idiotic joke is this? You scared the shit out of me.
You scared the shit out of me.
I'm the victim of a nocturnal rapture. I have to release my lowest instinct with a woman.
Release your instincts in the bathroom.
Are you nuts?
Are you trying to turn me into a homo?
Well, it wouldn't be too hard. If my father discovers you're here, he'll cut off your little nuts and eat them. He can't stand you.
And you?
I like you. But my family doesn't like you.
They say you're good for nothing.
That
and they
you spend way too much time with your friends.
But I swear, I never see
them.
Oh, how long is this gonna take? Yeah, we're sitting waiting. Why you wanna come to the theater, Solid?
These are cute.
Oh, you shut the window on us! Do you see?
What's wrong with having friends?
Nothing. If you want to remain a virgin the rest of your life, you take them to bed with you? And I don't believe in group sex.
Is it true that
Is your family going on vacation tomorrow?
Yes.
I'll
come with you?
Okay, I'll tell my father you're coming with us tomorrow.
Where are we going?
Neilbog. And this is great. This is really hidden in, some very important information that we need. A wonderful half-empty town. It's an exchange. A family from the country is coming here. We're going to live in their house. Oh, Elliot, it'll be wonderful.
Oh, Elliot,
you and me in the woods.
You and me in the woods.
This time
we'll be able to
be together for sure.
And my boys?
My boys?
If you bring
them with you,
I never want to see you again.
Okay.
I'm going now.
And I'll tell them. I'll see you tomorrow morning?
I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 on the dot.
Okay.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Alone?
Of course.
Alone?
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Finally. And seen.
Hey, welcome to another episode of What Won This Week. That was some clips from some of the other shows that some of your favorite winners that show up here every Friday do. One of them being Katie Hampton.
Hello! Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with that. Was that a bacon bit or was that something you guys do?
No, that was a Bacon bit. Bacon brought that to the table when he was a guest on Horror Movie Night. Loved doing it. He literally typed out he found the script online and then scripted it out for him and Kyle to do a scene to explain how beautiful the dialogue is in the movie Troll 2. And also, I know it's going to be a drive-by winning, as he described. We have our very own Winnie Cooper. So, Eric, how are you doing? Guys, I've missed you so much. It's been weeks since I've been on the what won this week.
Well, and Matt, like Troll 2 taught us all, you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
You won't allow it. So I did drop this on the Horror Movie Night feed. The first interview I ever did was with George Hardy. from Troll 2 to promote the documentary that had come out, the Best Worst movie.
Yeah, I've seen that document. Katie, have you watched it?
I haven't. No.
Katie, you need to watch Best Worst.
You
don't.
Okay.
I mean,
love it.
like, it's worth watching Troll 2 as well because it is so unbelievably bad. But like, Best Worst movie works on this level where it is a very funny documentary about how a movie as bad as Troll 2 happens, while also being this absolutely heartwarming, wholesome documentary about like a group of nobodies who made a shitty movie 30 years ago and haven't thought about it, and finding out that there's like
a huge cult following,
a huge cult following, and then like going to conventions for the first time and like meeting fans and like going to screenings and seeing how it's like taken on this Rocky Horror thing where people like shout the dialogue with the movie and stuff. So
wow, that's
it's
insane.
It's really funny and really like sweet, and the entire documentary is done by the kid who stars in Troll 2. Like, he was the one that discovered that there was a cult following and was like, oh, I'm going to teach all of my other castmates about this and film their reactions to finding this information out. But there's also like a lot of LA and New York comics that are in it that like helped put together like the live events that happened with that movie. I know the one guy, John Grimbler, is that his Grimbling? He's part of Adult Swim. He does stuff with like MC
John Gimberling.
John Gimberling is like, yeah, he's one of the guys who started like the Troll 2 watch series. So they like interview him and a few of the other comics that like started doing these monthly screenings of Troll 2.
Oh wow!
Like,
of course. I love that John Gimberling is a part of it. That's awesome.
I love John Gimberling from his MC Chris sketches. The highlights of the MC Chris album sometimes.
What
is him.
The bunch? Oh, maybe. And I guess it was last year. We Christian and I over at the Marvel Movie Talk side of the Geekscape universe multiverse. We interviewed the actor Culp. I apologize, I'm blanking on his first name. But he played Dr. Doom. And the documentary played Dr. Doom in the original Roger Corman produced one.
And he's a great that doc, right?
Right. The documentary Doomed. And it's got a similar thing about like sort of the makeshift family element of any production you do.
But that's even wilder because that thing is still almost impossible to get your hands on. Outside of like weird, nefarious means. Like,
that's the thing, right? Well, and I love that they still care about it, and in some ways, like Troll 2 has an element of that as well, right? It's like we, the survivors are the one who keep the story going, and so we bring you the tales of the survivors of Troll 2 and the original Fantastic Four. You won't believe the madness they witness, and there's such a beautiful, simple joy to creating, and so it's kind of like both documentaries are have a similar theme. It's anything, and be an interesting double bill watching the two of them.
There's also and I know the director passed away unfortunately, I think during it was like the day before Comic-Con. It was John Schnepp had done The Death of Superman Lives, which is also a phenomenal documentary about filmmaking, which is basically the whole story of how, like, hot off the heels of the Batman movie, let's bring in Tim Burton to make a Superman movie, and Kevin Smith's going to write it, and all this crazy. Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman, and then it all kind of falls apart. But John Schnepp like sat down with the production designers, like used animation to try to recreate what the film would look like and stuff like that. Like, it's a really fascinating documentary. But yeah, he used to be our neighbor at Comic-Con every year. And I remember it was like he died unexpectedly like 2 days before Comic-Con. So his booth kind of became like a visual to him. Like, people just like would come by and share memories at that table. It was a rough Comic-Con. We basically just had like front row seats to like the nerd grieving that was happening there in that moment. But I mean, he was always so sweet to us, would always hang out with us and chat John and I's ears off. And I think John and him at one point were working on a project together before everything kind of fell apart. But yeah, everything went south.
If I may, the nerd's grieving, if I may.
Yes.
I now know why you cry. Though it is something I could never do. Thank you.
Perfect. Speaking of all of that, though, Eric, you have even more winning in your week because you've got to go to like a school thing very soon. So how about we
winning? It ain't. This is not a winning. It is not. No, it's not about me teaching. No, it's for one of my kids. It's like one of those meetings.
Listen, end of the year meetings. No one is losing in those. But I know that you can't stick with us for too long. So you did have something you wanted to talk about that won this week.
I do. Yeah, no, of course I do. Well, it's interesting. This kind of dovetails beautifully into it. And I'm even rocking a USC mug that my cousin bought me. I'm not sure why she came in from Kansas with this for me here in LA, but you know,
flew into LAX right next to USC.
I guess the Connor gene is an unusual one. It only survives in certain temperatures and temperaments. But you know, one thing that was this week that was kind of a winning thing, and it speaks to what we were just talking about with Doomed and with the best worst movie. The idea of out of the joy of creating. So it is the end of the semester for my students over at New York Film Academy in Burbank. And I know it's very confusing to many people that it's called New York Film Academy when it's here in the 818, right across from the old Warner Music Building. But the one thing that was really cool, and I want to thank Katie, who is a guardian angel for me in so many things. So she connected me with someone in her extensive PAC theater family. And so what we do in one of the classes that's really fun, it's a scene study class. We bring in actors to help the writers sort of kind of like see how their scenes play. I always call it in the wild.
Do you need Bacon and Kyle to come and do a reading? Is that where we're getting?
I will take any side of bacon I can get. I don't eat pork as an entree, but as a side, no problem.
Absolutely.
This is lesser known laws of kosher that it just as long as it's not the main center of the plate, you're okay. Side, I'm not a problem. And it was cool. It was, you know, these students have been working on these projects for a while. It's like multiple semesters. And just watching them watch the actors to me was like the real win. And I've taught this class a few times. You know, I've acted a little, not like Katie. I'm very much in the shadows, and occasionally I come out and then I see my reflection and I get scared and I hide until winter. But it was really it's a really kind of fun way for them to finish because this is one of the last classes they have, and to see the stuff they had worked on for months, almost a year, and then watching actors kind of bring it to life for them, even if it's just like one or two scenes, but watching kind of their excitement over this. And we're talking, they're college and graduate students, so they're not like kids, you know, they're adults. But I think there's something really, I don't know, inspirational about watching that spark. I mean, I'm not to speak for Katie, but I'm sure part of improv, right? That by being part of an improv group, it's like every week, this shit probably shouldn't work, and that somehow it does is such a joy.
Sometimes, somehow it does.
Sometimes, more times than not, right? You get more baskets in than you miss.
You do.
So yeah, that was for me. And again, I know sometimes our wins are a little more global. I watched like Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm, who I pray to God my wife never meets him in person, because that might be the end of my 20+ year marriage. And I wouldn't put up a fight because it's kind of like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to outman him? Probably not.
I believe in you.
I mean, he was even a good Fletch. I can't even. He has that on me.
That was not shocking to me. Like, okay, so I will say that you've breached a topic that I want us to very quickly dive into before you go.
Mm.
But, when remakes happen, no matter how precious we are to the material, there's always the casting being called into question.
Sure.
And one of the more recent ones where my mind is boggled that people don't love this casting is the trailer for the new Naked Gun that we got with Liam Neeson playing Frank Drebin. I'm like, that's such a home run to me. Like, that is exactly what you need, is like a super serious actor who's willing to be absolutely insane to make that role work. And people have been bashing it left and right, and I do not get it.
No.
Which is the whatever. But like we were, Mark and I were literally talking about this a moment ago, where Anthony Mackie just put out an SNL sketch for, I guess he's hosting SNL maybe over the weekend or something, and it's the dumbest thing ever. We were talking about how much we love seeing super serious actors do super silly, stupid things. Like, the whole premise of the sketch is that one of the like junior cast members keeps seeing him fall, Anthony Mackie fall throughout like the halls of SNL. No reason. And it's just like it becomes this like whole bit where he's like, "Are you okay, buddy? You okay?" He's like, "I'm fine."
You're right. That's like a joke that shouldn't work, but it's hilarious.
But
like, just hearing you explain it, it's so good.
Oh,
did you guys? I'm sorry, Go ahead, Katie.
No.
Well, Liam Neeson, you guys probably saw this. He had a one scene thing in Life's Too Short, the Ricky Gervais comedy starring Warwick Davis.
Did he?
And he comes in, and this to me is when I heard about him as Frank Drebin, I immediately went to this scene in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, it's perfect. The whole premise is he's playing himself. And he comes in to Ricky Gervais and oh my God, the tall guy who's his collaborator on all his projects, Stephen Merchant.
Okay.
And he's like, I want to do improvisational comedy. And
that was not Life's Too Short. That was it like
Extras?
Oh, it was
That's Extras.
No, it was Life's Too Short.
It was Life's Too Short. No, you're right. You're totally right.
It shouldn't have been in Life's Too Short. It clearly should have been in Extras.
In Extras,
but they're like, it's like, oh crap. Well, we got him now. Let's just shove it in there. But yeah, that whole thing showed, because he is playing it so effing straight, and that's the brilliance of it. So, and I got to see the Zucker brothers. They showed Airplane last year over at the Egyptian, and they spoke. And they talked about, like, when they were casting the first Airplane movie, they wanted people who played these roles in movies like this. So thus, Leslie Nielsen wasn't known as a comedic guy. He was the guy who would play this role in those movies, in Airport, in those films. So in essence, they wanted the real guys. So thus, you want someone who could be in a cop movie for real. And then the irony is, the shit that seems to work every other time does not work now.
Right.
No, I think the casting is perfect. So I couldn't be more excited about that. And that trailer was brilliant.
The trailer's great, and I could not trust that team more if I tried. Like, the writers of the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, which was like an absolute home run, and like I have not seen The Lonely Island fail ever at anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if they could make a MacGruber movie work as well as a MacGruber movie worked, then then, like, I trust them with anything. Katie, let's take a quick second to do the thing that I feel like we do every single week, but we do need to knock it out real quick. Another thing that won this week big time was just another unbelievable night of Internet Supreme Court last night. People definitely need to watch. This is going to be the episode I feel like I send people when I'm trying to explain to them what the show is. I'm like,
Bacon had such a great bit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, for 45 minutes, we might talk about Katy Perry in space. Like, that's just base level. That's where it might start. Yeah. We might watch a like local commercial for a funeral home that's the most batshit thing you've ever seen. Like,
he might try to sell you something that is stupid.
Yeah, like, it's just, I feel like we checked every single box of what that show is last night. So want to get that out of the way. That certainly won this
Yeah.
week for me in a big way. But also something that I think won this week for me as a TV nerd was we did, it's been a week or two since I've been on here, but we saw a lot of like, I would say satisfying conclusions to seasons of television happen. You know, like Abbott Elementary closed the book in like a beautiful way for this season. Yellow Jackets, which had like a real rocky second season, kind of like reignited its show for the third season in a pretty big way. Daredevil Born Again definitely like left us wanting more in a way that it maybe wasn't for a lot of people. I feel like whether people liked or disliked Born Again, by the end of that episode, you're just like, okay, I'm ready for season 2 regardless. So I want to say that television in general won real hard in the last 2 weeks, I would say.
And I'm not sure whether or not, Matt, you've seen it, but Andor this week was...
Andor, so it's just a 3-episode start, right? They're not doing 3 episodes every week, are they?
I think they might be, and I think each of the 3 chunks are take place over the course of a year or something, where it's like 1 year before the Battle of Yavin or something.
Interesting. It's so funny. I push so hard against the binge all at once thing. Especially like now that even streaming sites are getting to the weekly drops. Like, I like the weekly drops. I like only having to carve out an hour to watch stuff and not have it spoiled for me by the internet.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. That is very fair.
Spoiled by people that look just like us, basically.
That looks just like us. But, you know, like, I don't know, the final season of You dropped yesterday, and I feel like I'm like racing the clock to get to the final episode before someone posts some meme that ruins the ending of the show You, where
That's
at
fair.
least like if it's a weekly drop, it's like, I just got to find 45 minutes to watch this week's episode. Like, I've been trying to carve out anywhere to fit in the 8 hours of You before that gets ruined for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Among like all the other things that you got to watch and like record.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So like,
and you have a life, like you are in a committed relationship. You have humans that depend on you.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
You have a cat, 2 cats that depend on you, Katie.
Yep. It's true. They do depend on me.
But yeah, it's tough. And the weekly drops have been so much more digestible at the bare minimum. Like, don't get me wrong. There is nothing better than like, you know, we've got Barb and I have like 2 kid-free weekends kind of happening back to back in the coming weeks.
Sure.
And the best ever was like the time that we didn't have the boys and we had no obligations or plans, and we quite literally just ordered fast food. And I think we watched all of like oh my god, Man in the House. Is that the was the Ted Danson like?
Oh, Man on the Inside.
Man on the Inside. Man on the Inside. Yes.
Really?
No. Man in the House is the Tim Allen one. No. We didn't watch that.
Man in the House is a game we played afterwards.
Yeah. No, but like we did. But it was like we literally watched that, Baby Reindeer, and like 3 stand-up specials over that weekend. Just like snug, and it was winter, so we were like snuggled under blankets. It was perfection. I love a good binge in that sense, but
absolutely.
I also do like just being like, all right, we got 45 minutes, a new episode of whatever show we're watching just dropped. Let's just like watch that singular episode and not worry that when we go to our friend's house later on that someone hasn't watched like 7 episodes ahead of us and like ruins it for us.
Did you guys watch Dying for Sex yet?
No,
I've heard really great things.
I think the big one that we might check out next, because I've had like 3 different people text me about it, was The Residence, which is like I think it's like a murder mystery comedy on Netflix that's supposedly in the same vein as Knives Out. So I'm like, I'll watch.
Yeah, it's Ted Danson, right?
That might be. Yeah, I know nothing except for the artwork is like the girl looking through binoculars and it says The Residence. So that's as much research that I did.
I had no idea what that is. Yeah, Dying for Sex, by the way, the Jenny Slate kind of like I don't know what I talked about in Daredevil, right? Is like the beautiful chemistry between Foggy and Matt is basically, Jenny Slate, Michelle Williams. Their chemistry is incredible. I mean, it's like one of the greatest friendships I've seen in anything, like movie, TV shows in forever. So that alone,
I will stand a good friendship show over a romance show like 9 times out of
anytime.
10.
30 reps. Yep.
Yeah, it is. It scratches such a more interesting itch for me when it's just
Same.
like, oh man, the wholesome, like, it's kind of why I loved, I mean, I guess this isn't a Ted Lasso spoiler, but like Ted Lasso very easily could have paired him up with Rebecca at any
glad they
point during
didn't.
that show. And
They
like the
never went
fact that
there.
they didn't, or not, like the most they did was like slightly hint at it, I think in season 2, when they're both on the online dating apps, and it was like they did a little bit of a catwalk where you didn't know who they were messaging, but you would see them reacting to text messages and be like, oh no, oh no. And then it just, nope, that wasn't the case at all. And it never got brought up again.
Like that was like such a plot line that I was like, that won't work. I'm so glad they didn't do that. And hopefully they don't continue to do that. But
yay that it's back. Apparently, did we talk about that? That's a thing that won.
So, I got some heads up from the casting people that I know that that might not take place in the UK, and it is likely going to follow a female team. So
I heard a rumor about that, which I think is fantastic.
I think so too, but Matt,
does that mean is
no, nah, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't
it be nice if Kate could audition?
Ted Lasso finally would be of value and merit if it had you in it, Katie. Until then, it's been nothing.
Yep. Everything he said, I agree with.
Oh, it would be incredible if I could. I would love to be like I mean, I played goalie for years, and I even still have some of the equipment from it. But speaking of filming things and whatnot, this last weekend, I got to film a short film that I'm continuing to film this weekend. It was a beautiful day in Los Angeles. I got to wear a red hoodie, and it's a very fun
show off the guns.
Yeah, I show up the guns and my little gun. I love it because the script was like, oh, this woman who's in her 30s and struggling to, run across like a simple path or something like that is sweating profusely and just trying to do her best. And I was like, yep, that's me.
Yes, I feel mildly attacked by this script.
A little bit, but no, it's so funny too because my co-star is a drone actually, and that was really wild to work with.
You mean like a robot, or that he's very boring?
No, like an actual robot. Let me see. I'm sure I can put this photo up. Let me just find it real quick. But yeah,
who had the better trailer, you or the drone?
I think it was the drone. Unbelievable.
AI's taking everybody's jobs, man.
All of them. All of them. He's a sweet little drone. I know. It looks like a little frog. That's my.
It does look like a frog.
Everywhere I'm moving, it's still looking at me.
Exactly. But yeah, so that was a super fun part of my week that I'm really excited to get back to in terms of filming and this is new. I'm switching it all around. Sorry, Matt. I know I'm taking over your control.
No, that's fine.
Howard's driven her mad.
Control all you want.
Okay. Well, but the other thing that was really wonderful about this last week was that I celebrated my 2nd anniversary.
Yay!
Yeah, it was really awesome. It was the one day this week that I actually had off and I wasn't doing something or filming something. Mark got us massages for 90 minutes. Oh my God, you guys, I did not realize how greatly I needed a Thai massage and for them to just like dig the shit out of, just pound it and get at it. I was so happy that we went to lunch afterwards. And the waitress was like, "What would you like to order?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I'm floating right now." Like speaking to her like I was just like, "Ah, yes, I've meditated for the last 3 hours." But no, it was absolutely wonderful. And then later that night, much to, I'm sure, looks like Eric had to head out. Um,
Eric disappeared on us. That's fine. Did he say something in the chat? Yes, gotta run. So he said, gotta run to my much less fun meeting. Mazel tov on the 2nd anniversary and the organized pain that is a Thai massage.
Yes, it's true. And trust me, like honestly, if you haven't had a massage in a minute, I don't care how much it costs. Invest. It's so worth it. So freaking.
I made the very smart, highly recommend, but recommend this and don't take advantage.
Sure.
But I became very good friends with my masseuse and
Nice.
and then was able to just like text her on the random and be like, "Hey, you free for a massage in the next like couple weeks?" And we would just go to her apartment, she would give the massage, and then we would like hang out, go to karaoke, get dinner, like just like make a day out of it.
That's
It
amazing.
was good. It was good times. And then fun fact about people who give massages, that is a career that is very short-lived because the amount of cramping that happens in the hands, you get maybe like 3 or 4 years before you have to like tap out. Friends where Phoebe's doing massages for 10 years, bullshit. Never.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had a masseuse friend that's lasted more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine. The thing about Thai massages, though, is that they walk on your back and then
Jesus.
dude. I mean, like they were digging in with like their heels. At one point, I was mounted, and I was like, "Oh, okay," but like my hamstrings, holy cow! But later that night, one of the things that happened was that Mark and I, much to his chagrin of me taking photos, went to an Italian dinner to celebrate our 1 year anniversary of our honeymoon, where we were in Italy. And holy cow, this was the freaking dish to have. I'm
That
telling
looks
you,
so good.
it's so freaking good. That egg right there, it had that orange yolk that just like spilled out. It was I had carbonara, he had bolognese. Pappardelle bolognese. Oh my god. It was the only thing we ate there because it was way bigger than their portion sizes used to be. Osteria La Buca if you're in Los Angeles. It's
Oh my god.
phenomenal.
I think oh wait, hold on a second. I think I've been there.
Have you?
I think right the week of Jonathan's wedding, I met up with a listener of Horror Movie Night and we were trying to find a place to eat. And I was like, I just really like Italian food. And this looks very familiar. And you said that name and it scratched something in my brain. So I think we may have gone there for that.
You may have. I mean, look at that. Look at that,
That is
gorgeous
dude,
carbonara.
you're killing me. We were
You're
debating.
doing so well.
Well, no, we're like, yes, A, I'm doing really well. But like B, it's like a night without the kids. We were like, do we go
Yes.
get Italian food or Cheesecake
Yeah.
Factory, or do we like lounge in the house and eat fast food? And we were leaning pretty hard to the stay in the house and eat fast food. Now I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, I don't know, I could fucking just rip up some Italian food right now.
I'm telling you, man, there is nothing as celebratory as a good Italian meal.
Dude,
Oh.
you are not lying. There are no lies to be detected in that sentence. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, you've got, I think, listen, we're all looking for wins this week, but that's a pretty good ass win. A
I'm gonna
2-year
say, yeah.
anniversary, an Italian dinner, a massage, like I think you
Filming over the
certainly.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, you're winning. I just talked about TV.
TV was great too. TV was
TV was
great,
really good.
as long as you moved away from the news, unless you heard about good old George Santos being sentenced to 7 years.
Well, love to hear that. You know what? I'm going to throw something out there that has been a beautiful help in my life
Okay.
lately. And it's a person on TikTok whose
Ooh.
name I am completely blanking on now, but I've been like watching her videos obsessively for the last couple weeks. Look, we all need something to get us through.
Sure.
And this is a woman named Amanda's Mild Takes. So
Okay.
I don't know the background of Miss Amanda.
Okay.
I'm just going to check right here. So she is a historian and a politics nerd. So she has been doing, I would say, 7 or 8 videos a day.
Okay.
A lot of them are like, hey, here's the thing that people are panicking about. Here's the reality of these situations. Here's how bad it's going to possibly be. Here's what will most likely happen where it's not going to be as bad as you're worried it's going to be. Like, she's kind of just like looking at it through like, this is what's been happening so far in these first 100 days. It set a precedent that like he signs a crazy executive order, everybody freaks out, then like 15 different lawsuits hit him.
Right.
And because there's so many lawsuits at once, they just kind of like quietly stop doing that thing, but they never announce that they stop doing that thing. So if you're not paying attention, you're still panicked that that thing is happening. Like,
Sure.
and she breaks that down. But the thing that I love is that she does every week the L's for Donald Trump this week, where she just runs down in like a 4-minute video, like, Elon Musk had to leave because Tesla's down 71%. This lawsuit just went through and you are getting the pantsuit off of you. Like, she just rapid fire. And when I tell you that anytime I'm feeling stressed out about things happening in the news, I will pull up one of her videos, even if it's like a slightly older video, and it just like gives me that, you know what it is? It gives me that feeling of like, because of the way things are, it feels like all of these terrible things are happening and nothing bad is happening to the person that's causing these terrible things to happen.
Yes.
So just getting this reminder of like, oh no, he's getting absolutely destroyed in lawsuits, like
in the world, China
like
hates him right now.
Everything that could possibly be bad happening. Just
not everything, not enough of everything.
No, more bad could be happening, but yes, definitely just being reminded of like, okay, yeah, he's not just like walking on clouds and no one's doing any, like, it reminds you that like people know people are doing things, like things are happening, and that's good. And sometimes the way that the entire 3 branches were built is actually operating, even if it's not operating at the speed you want to see it operating, it is in fact operating.
Good.
So, and she constantly does like updates on like, hey, here's how many percentages that people in traditionally red areas are starting to fall behind just before the next primary, where like this could easily be a seat that gets, like, she's just she has the optimistic tone that like just sometimes I don't need to only get the optimistic tone, but it's nice to have like a resource for the optimistic tone.
Right, exactly. Facts to back it up, and real facts. The ones that people used to believe in, the things that are undeniably true.
Exactly. Yes, those things. But you know what? We're gonna just keep winning, Katie. That's how we do. It's like that song says, all we do is win,
win every day. That's right.
So we'll be back next Friday, and hopefully every Friday for the foreseeable future, giving you some fun, some little sketches and clips from other podcasts and all that good jazz. Every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.
I'm doing the Knicks